So welcome back to the Combustion Masterclass. Today, we put the spotlight on the planet of intellect, communication, and logic, which is Mercury or Budha. Mercury's energy is fast, analytical, and external. When it's combust, the sun, which is the soul and your ego, it forces this energy inward, demanding the purification of your thoughts and your words. So for Mercury to be considered combust, it must be within 14 degrees of the sun when Mercury is moving direct, and within 12 degrees when Mercury is moving retrograde in your birth chart. And again, to know how to read your birth chart, go ahead and click on the links in the video description, your playlist. You can learn everything about the houses, the planets, and how to read your birth chart. So definitely check that out. Now for Mercury, if your sun is at 10 degrees in the third house, then your Mercury must be anywhere between 26 degrees in the second house or 24 degrees in the third house for it to be considered combust. And again, if you want to learn about the houses, what are the 12 houses, so you understand what I'm talking about, definitely reference the playlist in the video description. Okay. So I want to start by asking you some crucial questions about your communication style. Say you have Mercury combust in one of your houses. Why do you constantly feel that your true intelligence is not recognized or is easily overridden by authority? Why do you struggle with chronic self-doubt right after speaking, constantly rethinking your words? Have you ever noticed that important facts or messages seem to get garbled or lost when you try to convey them? So if Mercury is combust in your Vedic chart, in your natal chart, your soul chose a life where intellectual clarity and persuasive communication, they are achieved only through profound internal honesty and self-reliant thought. To know if your Mercury is combust, look for that C wherever Mercury is placed. So let's talk about your past life karmic root. What was it? Well, let's dive into the core spiritual reason behind this placement of Mercury combust. A combust Mercury points to a past life where the native severely misused or abused their intellect and powers of communication for egoic gain. In the past life, your ego, which is your sun, likely corrupted your words, which is Mercury. You may have had intellectual arrogance and pride. You may have been an intellectual snob, using your intelligence to mock or belittle or dismiss those that had less knowledge. And you might even see a little bit of that in your personality in this lifetime. The sun now burns away that arrogance, forcing you to develop humility and listen more than you speak. Another reason is you may have misused truth and honesty. This is a major one. You might have been involved in misrepresentation, dishonest contracts, or clever lies for personal benefit. The karmic cleanup demands that your intellect now struggles when the intent behind the communication is anything less than pure truth. You may have become overly dependent on pure linear logic, suppressing intuition and emotional intelligence and using intellect as a weapon. You may have been given a great opportunity to learn or teach, but wasted the gift or used it for frivolous purposes. And your intellect now feels intense internal pressure to be used for a higher purpose. Your spiritual assignment is clear. The heat of the sun is purifying your mental processing center, demanding that your thoughts and words be in complete alignment with your highest soul truth. So the combust Mercury's lesson is to transform intellectual self-doubt into unshakable self-reliance. So let's talk about your spiritual roadmap and your core lessons and the actions in this lifetime. What's your first lesson? The first lesson is the power of the written word. Since verbal communication can be garbled because you have Mercury combust, the energy is best channeled internally. Your action needs to be that you can commit to writing down all important thoughts, ideas, and decisions before speaking them. Journaling, essay writing, or creating detailed personal notes, they're essential outlets for your true genius. Let's talk about lesson number 2. Speaking only half. When in conversation, aim to use only 50% of the words that you want to say. Practice active listening and prioritize concise, direct truth. That's your action plan. If you're tempted to lie or embellish, pause and say nothing instead. This builds trust in your own authentic voice. All right, what's lesson number 3? Honoring Budha, Mercury. Mercury connects to healing, knowledge, and quick intellect. If this resonates with you, you can regularly chant the mantra for Mercury, which is Om Bam Budhaya Namaha. Or you can engage in study and teaching methods where you rely on self-research rather than external authorities. Now let's see if your Mercury improved with time, with age. The D9 chart, also known as your Navamsha, it shows the karmic refinement of your intellectual and relational destiny. So look at the sign. Look at the sign and the house position of Mercury in your D9 chart, Navamsha chart. Has it moved into its own sign? Into Gemini or Virgo? Virgo is its exaltation sign. Or is it now sitting in a house that's associated with higher learning, like 9th house? This indicates that the soul is successfully integrating intellectual humility and using its mind for higher purpose. Check if Mercury is now sitting in a friendlier sign or if combustion is gone. The goal is that Mercury in the D9 expresses its energy with greater focus, analytical precision, and wisdom, showing that the purification of your ego and communication is transforming your destiny. Again, if you'd like to get more details on how to read your birth chart, click on the playlist in the video description. So, what does all this mean? Well, a combust Mercury is not a life sentence of stuttering or obscurity. It is a signature of a soul that's capable of achieving profound original genius. The spiritual truth is that the sun is refining your communication so intensely that you're becoming a channel of undiluted truth. The karmic lesson is to realize that true intelligence is not about how quickly or eloquently you speak. It's about how purely your words align with the universal truth. Embrace the heat of the sun. It is burning away the intellectual arrogance and dishonesty of the past so that a brilliant, self-reliant mind can emerge. And the houses will indicate to you where you're going to be facing this particular issue. So if you're seeing Mercury combust in your 7th house, you're going to have those issues primarily with your partnership, with your spouse, with people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, because 1st house is yours and 7th house is the person that you deal with on a daily basis. So you're trying to say something, but they're understanding something else. If you have Mercury combust in your 5th house, you're going to have a miscommunication with perhaps your children, especially your oldest child, or in your romantic relationships. If you have Mercury combust in your 9th house, you will see that miscommunication happen with your father, with your guru, with your teacher. In the 4th house, it would be with your mother, in your family environment. So you see, that's where it's going to show most of its effects, is whichever house that Mercury combustion is happening. Now let's talk about your spiritual assignments and the next steps. Let's turn this wisdom into action right now. First, tell me in the comments, what is the one area of communication, example contracts or verbal defense or writing, where your combust Mercury struggles the most? Naming it is the first step to purification. Second, Commit to the written word. Commit to writing down 3 things that you are grateful for every morning this week. This channels Mercury's energy into a pure, positive form. And share this video with anyone who constantly deals with self-doubt in their intelligence or feels their ideas get lost in translation. They are meaning to say something, but the words that come across are something else to the other person. And where do you see that most? You see it in the house where Mercury combustion is happening. And next time, we move on to the passionate lesson of video 3, which is the Combust Venus. It's channeling love into spiritual devotion. This will cover relationship dependency, financial struggles, and how to define your inner worth. So hit the notification bell right now so you don't miss the next stage of your combustion mastery. And if you'd like to deep dive into your own personal chart, reach out to me via the link in the video description or in the About section of the channel. Thank you for watching, and thank yourself for watching. And that's all for today.